Yeah.
This is the year of expansion. Not theory, not talk. Expansion. Brought to you by the Change Agent Network, powered by SKD Entertainment, and distributed by SKD TV. If you're ready to move, if you're ready to build, if you're ready to expand, then you have come to the right room. Welcome to the Boardroom Report. Strategic direction for clear execution. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you now, Pastor Derek, the Change Man Schmeal.
Come on in, come on in, come on in, y'all. It's the one on the Pastor David James Man Smith, and I want to welcome you to the Boardroom Report. Yes, sir. Here we are setting it off with the mindset of a millionaire. So I'm so excited that you are here with me. Welcome to the year of expansion. Oh, man. Yes, sir. This is your time. It's your turn. It's your season. So come on in. I want you to be excited about what God is doing for you. And today we are talking about wealth generation principles. We're talking about giving you more clarity for your clutter. We're talking about giving you more peace in the midst of your perspectives. So come on in, come on in, come on in. Do me a favor, grab your pen, and make sure you tell a friend, tell them come on in, come on in. We are so excited that you are back with us. We are in this month dealing with finances. This is only a 4-week series. This is week number 2, and we will be moving on in the month of February to something else. So I want you to grab as much as you can while you can. That's one of the things that I find that we do often is that we take a lot of things for granted. Number one, presence, not things that you exchange or receive, but presence, Presence, presence. We take that for granted. And I'm telling you, time is the only account that you spend out of that you don't know the balance. And so I would like to encourage you to not take time, people, or relationships for granted. Amen. Let's not do that in 2026, because it's not guaranteed that you have tomorrow. That's number one reason why I refuse to have a grudge or an art with anybody, is because I don't know if I will ever have time to get it together. I don't want to leave here or have you leave here without it being together. And so I've learned how to have a new perspective, which is unlimited tolerance for offense, for a limited favor reception. Amen. Yeah, that's good. That's good. We want to welcome you back to the Boardroom Report. This series exists for one reason, and that's to move you from chaos into control. We do this not through motivation, not through hype, but we do it through order. Order is a very powerful word. It's a very essential word for wealth. Last week we established, I was very excited about what happened in the last session. We established awareness. What you had to do last week was you guessed your numbers while you were with me, and then last week you were supposed to verify them. Yeah, so you kind of guessed what they were during the session, and sometime before today you should have validated those numbers to see where the gap is. Last week we were encouraging you to stop managing money by feelings and to start dealing with the facts. But awareness is only the doorway. Awareness tells you where you are, but it does not tell you how to move forward. And tonight, I want to help you move forward. Tonight is about what awareness must lead to. Tonight is about a very sexy word. You may not think it's a sexy word, but it's a word that just hits all my hot buttons, and it's called structure. Structure. Without structure, increase does not feel like progress. It feels like pressure. Yeah, and you need structure. Structure is essential. Let me tell you what structure really is, but first let me tell you what it's not. Structure is not restriction. Structure is not punishment. Structure is not control for control's sake. Structure is pre-decided order. Structure means decisions are made up before emotions show up. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Structure means decisions are made before emotions show up. It means money has assignments before temptations arises. It means responsibilities are clear before stress forces a reaction. Structure removes the element of surprise, and surprise lives where stress lives. When people say they are stressed about money, they are not stressed about numbers. They are stressed about not knowing. And structure replaces uncertainty with clarity. Ain't nothing like clarity and confidence. That is why boardrooms demand structure, not because they are rigid, but because they are responsible. Yeah. Today, last week we talked about why smart people stay broke. Well, today I titled this one, Why Smart People Resist Structure. Let's talk about it. Here's why people resist structure. It's not because they don't want improvement. No, it's not that. It's simply because structure was introduced to you and to me as a way of control instead of protection. And nobody wants to be controlled, but everybody would love to be protected. For many people, structure shows up as rules without explanation, discipline without development, authority that doesn't correct behavior, but never taught thinking. Okay, for many people, structure showed up early as rules without explanation, discipline without development, authority that corrected behavior but never taught thinking. So in other words, structure showed up sometimes telling you mostly about what you couldn't do, about what you couldn't become. So structure became associated with the loss of freedom and wealth. Wealth is freedom, baby. Wealth is freedom. So structure became associated with a loss of wealth, a loss of freedom, a loss of joy, a loss of choice. As a result, we learned a dangerous equation. We computed and translated this way, that order equals restriction. And that belief, even though it was introduced to us at an early point in time in life, it matures. It metastasize. Because as adults, people replace structure with flexibility. They say things like, I don't want to feel boxed in. I don't want nobody trying to tell me what to do, trying to control my life. This is the one that I hear a lot. I'm grown. I'll figure it out as I go. But what they're really saying is, I don't want to feel confined. I don't want to be restricted. So instead of them building structure, they choose reaction and emotion. They wait until the bill is due, until the account is low, until the pressure is high. That feels like freedom until stress begins to develop over time. Now, we've all been there. So again, I want you to know this is a safe station. I'm not pointing fingers at you. I want you to know that I have been where you are. Yeah, I've been there. I've been there. And this is why I can teach it, not because I'm reading it out of a book or a manuscript. It's because these are lessons that I am able to teach from having my knees scarred up for so long. Yeah, for crawling for so long. But I'm running now, and I want to teach you how to run this well. Here's the correction. You can't ignore your situation. You've got to face it in order to fix it. You got to confront it in order to conquer it. Structure doesn't remove freedom. It protects your freedom. Without structure, one emotional decision limits 5. One surprise creates panic. One unplanned moment steals the peace from your future. Structure doesn't erase options. It preserves tomorrow's options. I'm so excited I'm getting tongue-tied. Structure at first feels uncomfortable, but it replaces avoidance with clarity. And clarity is what allows increase to arrive without collapse. Now, structure. In your personal life, structure answer these simple questions. What must be paid first? What keeps life functioning normally? What cannot be skipped without consequence? Consequence. That's a word grown folks don't like to hear. Without structure, every month feels brand new. And we talked about that last week. Every expense feels unexpected. Every increase creates anxiety. But structure creates predictability. Structure creates calmness, and it creates capacity. When structure exists, money stops running you, you start running it. You start governing it. And governance is the entry point to increase. So let me clear something up right quick. A lot of people think structure is just organization, but it's not. Organization is knowing where things are, but structure is deciding what comes first. Structure, again, is order and priority with authority. You can be very organized and still financially chaotic. For example, if you're like me, you can have all your bills written out. You can have them formulated. You can have them organized. You can have them color-coded. That's organization. But structure helps you to know what to pay, when to pay, how much to pay. You can have your bills organized, but if those bills are paid randomly or based on pressure or based on your mood, that's no structure. Because pressure changes, mood changes, feelings change. There's no structure. Structure doesn't change. Structure is when money has a priority. Structure says this gets paid first, this comes next, and this never moves no matter how I feel. When pressure shows up, structure decides before emotions decide. That's the difference. Organization supports structure, but structure is the leader. Now, there's another little sexy word that I like. That's a term that's thrown around in business. It talks about it's called scale. Yeah, scale. Now that we've got structure understood, we can define a word that gets used loosely. Scale. Let me tell you what scale is, but first I think I'll tell you what it's not. Scale is not getting bigger. Scale is not getting bigger. Scale is not, when you hear somebody say they want to scale their business, let me tell you, in your mind, just like when you hear expansion, you think more. You think more. You think bigger. You think more grand. Scale is not for growth's sake. Matter of fact, scale is the ability to handle more without breaking what already works. That's good. Scale is the ability to handle more without breaking what already works. If more money shows up and you get more money, but you get more stress, that's not scale. What that is disorder. If more opportunities arrive for you and confusion follows, that's not scale. That's a revelation of lack of structure. If expansion creates anxiety instead of stability, that's letting you know that increase arrived before order arrived. Scale magnifies whatever structure already exists. So whatever is already structured, when scale comes along, it just makes it bigger. It just illuminates. It shows what's structured. That's why structure must come first. All right? Here's how you can apply that in your personal life. In your personal life, scale means capacity. Can your current personal habits handle more income? Can your discipline survive comfort? Let me stop right there, because a lot of people, I've heard people say over the years, when they hear money doesn't solve every problem, then I hear the response, well, if I had it, I'll show you what to do with it. It'll work for you to solve all my problems. A lot of times we don't have money problems. We don't have the problem is not your lack of money. The problem is your lack of structure. The problem is your lack of order. The lack of maturity to not be swayed by the pressures of life and the emotions of life. A lot of people are just caught up in low-hanging fruit. So can your habits handle more income? If you get an extra $10,000 right now, what does your habit say that you're going to do with that $10,000? Are you going to invest in it, or are you going to get bundles and bottles? Yeah, you need to figure out, what would you do with it? Would you figure out how to take that 10 and turn it into 15? Or would you find out that you're somewhere thinking about all the things that you're going to buy? Yeah. Can your peace remain under the pressure of expansion? If more money creates more impulse, more confusion, more instability, then scale is not the problem. Structure is the problem, or the lack thereof. Scale is not about wanting more. Scale is about being ready for more. I like that right there. I like that. Yeah, when I was studying this, as I wrote this, that felt good to me. Yeah, scale is not wanting more. Scale is about being ready for more. Yeah, let that sink in. Are your personal habits aligned with expansion? Are your personal habits aligned with wealth creating opportunities? Or are you still speaking that you want to be a millionaire, all the while you are acting like a pennier, like a hundredaire. That's good. All right, let's talk about scaling in your business application. In business, scale means stability under pressure. Can revenue increase without chaos? Can responsibility grow without burnout? Can decisions be made without everything stopping? If every dollar requires more effort, if every increase breaks something else, the business is growing, but it's not scaling. Growth is not scaling. Just because it gets bigger doesn't mean it's scaled. In order for it to scale, it means that it has to increase without interruption, increase without distraction. You see, boardrooms don't ask, how big can this get? Boardrooms ask, how stable is this? And how stable is this under pressure? Stress doesn't come from planning, it comes from reaction. Structure isn't judgment, it's leadership. All right, let me give you a quick illustration about scaling. Think of it this way. Think of a thermostat. A thermostat is designed to handle a range. It can be set at 68 degrees. For those of you all that like to have a cold house, it can be set at 78 degrees, 84 degrees. But if the temperature goes beyond what it's built for, the system doesn't try harder, it shuts down. Not because it's broken, but because it has reached its capacity. You see, knowing your capacity, that's not a bad word. That's not a bad thing. And a lot of us are taking on more than our capacity can handle. A lot of us are trying to have, everybody loves a Mercedes. Everybody loves a BMW. They're good looking cars, they're sharp, they come with status. But that maintenance is not the same as that Chrysler 300 that you drive. It's not the same as that Ford Fusion that you're driving. And if you think that you're struggling with the Chrysler, wait till you get over here in the world of Mercedes. Wait till you get over here in the world of those hybrid vehicles, those Teslas. The batteries alone cost about $3,500. Now, it may take a while before it goes out, but do you have... I remember one time I saw this gentleman, he had bought a BMW during income tax time. And he never did get the temp tags off his car before I saw it sitting on bricks. And he came to me and asked me about trying to purchase another vehicle. And I asked him where was the BMW. And he said he didn't have the money to get the brakes done. Your whole car is set down. That means you didn't have an alignment with your purchase. You purchased something that felt good, that was going to make you look good. Can I get you to lean in real quick, and I'm almost done? Can I tell you that it's no need for you in 2026 to keep trying to build a life to impress people with stuff that you can't afford for people that really don't matter. Some of us are in debt simply because of a compliment. And I would like to encourage you to take this mantle with you in your life. You can't buy me with your compliments, and you can't crush me with your criticisms. I know who I am. I drive what I want to drive. I'm not driving it because I want you to say I look nice. I drive it because it feels good to me. It's what I can afford in my budget, and it's what I like. Don't have to have what you want me to have. That's a lesson that I want you to take with you. Scale is the range you can operate in without malfunctioning. When money increases, do you stay steady, or do you panic? Or even worse, do you splurge? Do you freeze? Do you avoid? When responsibility increases, do you stay clear, or do you get frustrated? Do you get overwhelmed and stressed out and reactive? When pressure increases, do you stay consistent, or do your habits collapse? Does your discipline stay intact under pressure? If performance drops when conditions change, you didn't fail, you just hit the edge of your scale. Why this matters? It matters because people think scaling means more, and it doesn't. Scale means how much variation you can handle while staying functional. If a small increase throws you off, your scale is narrow. If a large increase doesn't change how you operate, your scale is wide. Scale is not how much you have. Scale is how much you can handle without changing who you are. All right, here's week 2 of your assignment. I call the structure made visible. Last week, you guessed your numbers and then you verified them. This week, we're going to take it another step. Using those same expenses that you verified last week, rank every expense from most important to least important. Not by how loud it feels or how often it's due or the feeling of or how late you are, but by importance to your life continuing normally. Number 1 is what must be paid first if nothing else gets paid. Put that at the top of the list. That's that thing that you say, no matter what, this is going to get paid. If these don't get paid, this is going to get paid. Number 2 comes next, and keep going until everything is ranked. No math, no cutting, no behavior changes, just listing and just structuring. Yeah, just structuring. All right? That's it. That's it. That's it. Let's wrap this up. Awareness without structure collapses. Structure without discipline, it fails. But structure is the beginning of control. And control is what allows increase to arrive without anxiety. And I don't know about you. If you struggle with anxiety like I do, I struggle with it pretty bad. But I found out that structure helps me to have control and increase my control without experiencing as much of anxiety. This is not about becoming a millionaire fast. Yes, this is the mindset of a millionaire, but these are the building blocks to get you there. This is about thinking and living in a way that you can handle more without collapse and without chaos. Next week, we're going to build on this structure so order can be honored consistently. I want to thank you for tuning in tonight to the Boardroom Report. I pray that tonight that you've gained some type of principle, that I've said something that would prick you in a way to do better, to show up better, reverse these generational curses, and position you into a place where you can work and leave a legacy for those that are coming behind you. It's Pastor Derek the Change Man Smith. This is the Boardroom Report. I love you, and remember, change ain't change until you change. See you next week.
This has been an SKD Entertainment production. All copyrights reserved.